Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a sweet week. Pretty much exactly 1 month ago, I put some of my bastard whiskey down on oak to start aging. So I figured today I want to break those out, have a little taste test, and give you an update on how they're tasting. And I've also got a little surprise to taste too. Welcome to Distiller everyone, my name's Jesse and this is the channel all about chasing the craft of home distillation and making it a legitimate hobby. So if you're a distiller, if you want to be a distiller, or if you just really dig craft spirits, this might be the channel for you. If it is, hit that subscribe button down below, it'll be really awesome to have you on board. So literally 1 calendar month ago, I put some of that bastard whiskey wash down into containers ready for oaking and aging. And I thought it was high time that I bust those out and have a taste. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't heard about my bastard whiskey, essentially it was supposed to be a single malt, which I screwed up and had to put some sugar and other stuff into. If you want to catch up, I'll stick a link up top for those videos. Go check them out, come on back, and you can see how they're tasting 1 month in. But for those of you that have watched those videos, you'll know that I did one jar that was supposed to be ready sort of for Christmas. And I did another jar, which I was planning on leaving for maybe 9 months or so, something like that. Basically, as long as I can hold out. What pretty much no one knows is that there's actually a third version of this stuff, and that is this here. To be honest, I actually forgot about this. I put it away on the corner in the shelf, and yeah, I forgot it was even there. I found it, and it made me realize that it's been exactly a month since these went down. So, time to break them out and have a taste. For those of you that really want to know what's going on here, I do just want to add too that I split a really nice piece of oak that's been soaked in custom sherry down into a very small piece. It's literally like a quarter of one of those dominoes, and I put one of those in here too. Like I said, I want this ready for Christmas, so I'm trying to sort of finish it at the same time. We'll see how it's going anyway. Alright, so I have stolen a little taste from each of these vessels, and before I proof them down to about 40%, I actually want to give them a smell just as is. So this has mellowed out heaps actually. There is still a little bit of a bite on the nose, but that's okay, it's only been in there for a month, so I'm really happy with that on the nose, especially at about 60%. I'm definitely getting some of that all-grain bourbon in there, which is actually really nice. It's not overpowering though, just a little. And the sherry is starting to come through a smidge too. More as a, there is a hint of actual sherry to it, but there's a little sweetness there that wasn't there before I put that sherry oak in. So I think maybe that's where that's coming from. This one, on the other hand, this is much more like the original spirit still. More heat and much less wood and sort of complexity in it, I guess. Yeah, definitely got a little bit more bite when you take a big breath. But let's proof them down and have a taste. I'm looking forward to this. So the faster one first. Whoa, actually that water really made that jump out on the nose too. Interesting. That's really freshened it up. The original flavor from the spirit is coming through more. Whoa, okay, yeah, that's really different now. Anyway. So that's actually a little hotter than I was expecting. And saying that, I literally haven't had a sip of spirits for probably about 4 days or something at the moment. I'm starting to get a little body to it, I guess. Or more that it's a little more rounded. I'm definitely starting to taste the oak. I'm definitely getting a little bit of the bourbon and the char from that little bourbon domino, I guess you'd call it. I interestingly don't taste any of the sherry. I can smell it just a little bit, but I can't taste it. I'm starting to get a little bit of the wood sort of char in there as well. Just more in the aftertaste, sort of when you're just kind of breathing, almost, that sort of lingers around. So that's beginning to actually be kind of pleasant. I quite like that. All right. Whoa. Interesting. So this one's definitely smells a little boozier, but it also has a sweetness to it that this one doesn't, which is weird. Don't get that. Whoa, interesting. Okay. So this is definitely a little hotter, but it has a really interesting raisin date sort of flavor to it that this one doesn't. How? How does that happen? I'm gonna go back and see if I can get it over here. Yeah, I'm not getting that over here. Wow, that's really interesting. This also has more of a raw wood sort of flavor to it, but more, you know, not like an oak barrel sort of caramel and vanilla flavor, just straight up just tastes like wood. I did have a whole lot of advice telling me to take some of the wood out of this way back when, and I didn't listen to you guys. I probably should have. So I'm thinking is probably at least fish out that the smaller French oak piece out of here, and I'll leave it at that for now. But let me have another go at this. This one's definitely got more of a kick at the front end and the back end, which is interesting. This to me has a better sort of wood profile. This is interesting because of the sherry, the bourbon, and then it's getting more of the char in the after notes. Interesting. Anyway, guys, I'm guessing that you are all really wondering what the hell this is. You may remember when I blended the cuts back together from the Spirit Run to get into these two jars, I kept all of the jars that I use some of, that I like something about them, but for whatever reason I didn't want to use the entire jar that I had. They all went into this container. You probably also noticed a whole lot of writing under here, which I could explain to you, but honestly that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, so hold up, let me show you. On the nose I can definitely smell the orange peel. The smoke is jumping right out. I feel like I can smell the salt. That's weird. Don't get the raisins. Don't get the coffee. What else is in there? Oh, let's taste it. Whoa! Whoa! I'm not going to say that tastes amazing, but what is amazing about it is that every second it's in your mouth, it changes and evolves into something else. It's far from one standard sort of monotonous flavor. It constantly keeps developing. Wow. On the nose I get a little bit of that Tails funk still, just a hint. But honestly, it mixes with the smoke, with the Manuka smoke, and it's not entirely off-putting for me. I'm sure for people that are more discerning on these things, it might be, but the smoke's coming through, and it is a little bit like smoked New Zealand fish, because, okay guys, if you're not in New Zealand, everything that is smoked in New Zealand is smoked with Manuka smoke, and the most things that have been smoked up until the last couple of years was pretty much exclusively fish. So I think for a lot of people in New Zealand, Manuka smoke is pretty closely associated with fish, which is, I don't know, it's a weird thing when you're putting it in a drink. So there is a little bit of the Manuka smoke, but it's actually pairing with something a little bit more ashy and grungy. So that's kind of nice. I don't know if that's from the distillate or from some of the charred stuff that I put in there. Okay, so the front end, the beginning, is all the sweet stuff. You get a little bit of the orange, and then the raisins take over. And then it's almost like vanilla. As you swallow, that changes to coffee, and then the coffee fades away to the smoke really quickly, and then the smoke to the ash. Wow! Okay, so here's the thing. In saying that, it's really, really interesting from a geek perspective. I don't know if I'd really want to drink it. It's just a little bit too much on a few fronts. In saying that, I feel like the experiment has worked. And I think blending these two would be really fun. So, as a drinking scotch, right now, if I was going to sit down and have a fairly decent sized glass out of one of these, it would definitely be this one. So, I'm going to use that as my base, and all of that is going in. I think I'm going to add a little bit of this, because even though it is a little on the punchier side, that wood and really raisiny sort of thing is quite interesting. So, I'm going to add about half of that. All the crazy stuff that's going on in here is awesome. I just think there's too much of it. So, just a smidge. Whoa! Whoa, that's crazy. So there's like cream and vanilla. I don't know where the hell that came from. Man, it never ceases to amaze me how crazily complex this shit is. Like, you just cannot predict this stuff. Like, how does this have flavors in it that this doesn't have, when there's nothing in this that isn't in that? Blows my mind. How do I add these three flavors together and then get a flavor that wasn't in any of them by themselves? Anyway, it blows my mind. Sorry, I'm kind of geeking out a little hard there. Yeah, the caramel and butterscotch just kind of went off the charts. on the nose anyway. That's really interesting. The sweetness has been brought out at the front end, more sort of leaning towards sort of something vanilla-y with a little bit of sort of dried fruit, raisins or plums, something like that. I'm not really getting a lot of the coffee coming through from this, so maybe a smidge more of that. But what it does do, it leaves that lingering, almost iodine sort of salt that you get in a lot of the Islay scotches on the tongue for a second, and then it clears. And I'm finding it really hard to describe the flavor that's lingering in my mouth, but I do have a long aftertaste sort of burning away. So this to me is better than this by itself. Let me add a little more of this. Nope, too much. Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. Ah well, there you go guys. I guess I kind of went into the weeds a little bit on that one. I do believe that this is going to be enjoyable enough by Christmas, perhaps with a little bit of this in it actually. This, I've got every faith that is going to be delicious in like a year's time. I am going to take a little bit of wood out of it. And this, while it is wacky and I would not want to drink it, it does at least give me some sort of proof of concept that creating a little infusion could, at the very least, be used as a tincture to put back into the other products and improve them. So thanks for watching the video guys, thanks for hanging out, and thank you for all the advice that you've given me to help me get to this point with this stuff, and I'm sure the next one is going to be even better because of it. So if you liked the video guys, give it a thumbs up, that helps me out heaps. If you really like it and you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.